Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today is Thursday, which means another TWAB from Bungie themselves. This week at Bungie is all about loot. We're going to be going over the Season of the Chosen loot, the new Trials of Osiris loot, the new Nightfall loot, some cosmetic stuff, an Aeon cult exotic rework, and some catalysts being put back into the game from the Deepstone Crypt. Did I say Deepstone Crypt? I meant the Destiny content vault. You can tell it's been a minute. So let's go ahead and jump into it and let's check out this TWAB, starting off with the Nightfall loot. They say this Season of the Chosen is delivering some shiny new things for you to collect. We already spilled the beans that for the first time, some of the favorite weapons from Destiny 1 are showing up in Destiny 2 as rewards for completing Nightfall the Ordeal. Here is the lineup. Right here you can see the Swarm Heavy Machine Gun, the Palindrome Hand Cannon, and the Shadow Price Auto Rifle. May I just point out, by the way, that the Palindrome is a Crucible Hand Cannon that you're going to be getting from Vanguard activities. I mean, I think that's a little weird, don't you think? Like, maybe you could have thrown it to, like, I don't know, the Crucible loot pool, you know, just play a Crucible match, it randomly drops. I feel like it'd make more sense. But what do I know? I'm only a gamer. They then end up saying that Nightfall the Ordeal weapons have a chance to drop at the end of the activity depending on your metal, platinum, gold, etc., and the difficulty. They say Master difficulty will give you the highest chance at a drop of the base version of these weapons. If you want the Adept versions, Adept difficulty weapons have a chance to drop at the end of a Grandmaster Nightfall when they go live later in the season. The drop chance also depends on your metal, so slay enough champions to hit platinum, and you have a high chance of an Adept weapon. Now, moving on from this, Bungie talks about the new pursuit weapon of Season of the Chosen. Last season we had the Adored. This season we have this bad boy right here. Similar to Season of the Hunt, we will have a new pursuit weapon for you to earn from your quest of choice. Choose between Strikes, Crucible, or Gambit to earn the new breech-loaded grenade launcher, the Salvager's Salvo. After you obtain your new tool of destruction, you'll be able to earn 3 different ornaments for it from additional quests picked up from Zavala, Lorchax, and Drifter, and those different ornaments are probably just going to be like very light reskins that they don't really put too much effort into. That's what they did for the Adored, and you know, some of them looked okay, I guess. Now, moving on from that, Bungie talks about the Trials of Osiris loot, and if you've been watching my channel recently, you know your boy is about to rant a little bit, but let's go and go over the new gear that Bungie shows off. The first thing is new weapons, or shall I say reskinned weapons. These weapons are existing models from the Destiny franchise. They just have a new Trials of Osiris skin on it, and might I add, with all of the discussion going around about 3-peaking, it's very ironic that we're getting a Trials of Osiris sword, but I'll go ahead and stop myself there. Moving on from that, we have some better looks at the new armor, and might I add, honestly, the Hunter armor, it looks good, okay? I'm not gonna sit here, I'm not gonna lie to you. The Hunter armor looks good. Not really a big fan of the Warlock, and the Titan, he's kind of in the middle a little bit for me. After this, Bungie says, along with these new weapons and armor, Trials has some new cosmetic rewards to show off. The Ghost Shell drop chances increase as you win matches, and increases when you hit 3, 5, or 7 wins, and a flawless each week. The Ship and the Sparrow drop chances increase every time you go flawless, so here's a look at the rewards. First up, we have the new Trials of Osiris Ghost Shell. I kind of think that the old Ghost Shell looks better. Moving on from that, we have the Sparrow, and I kind of feel like the old Sparrow looks a little bit better. And then moving on over to the ship, it looks great. I'm not gonna lie, this ship looks fantastic. Now, before we go ahead and move on over to the other stuff in the video, I'm just gonna say it. I gotta say it every time Trials of Osiris gets mentioned. Bungie, you cannot add slices of cheese to a shit sandwich and expect people to want to eat the sandwich. Instead, you should probably look at what you have on your sandwich, take it out, fix it up a little bit, and replace it with like some salami or whatever the hell you guys want to eat. Listen, cheaters are in Trials of Osiris. It is a very well-known thing, right? Adding new loot to Trials of Osiris doesn't make people who play on PC want to play Trials of Osiris anymore. I mean, maybe just a little bit, like they'll dip their toe in it, but you're not fixing the game mode, okay? I would much rather, Bungie, that you put your resources into something else, like Iron Banner, while Trials of Osiris is currently the hellhole that it is. I mean, the most recent week, I think Trials of Osiris had the least amount of people playing it of all time ever since it came out, because it's absolutely garbage. Get an anti-cheat in the game first before you start putting content into the game. I mean, you can correlate with your anti-cheat people and your content creation people and be like, yo, we're not ready for an anti-cheat to be in here, so put your resources elsewhere, like Iron Banner. It's just, it sucks, man, to see new loot like this, just knowing that most of the player base is not going to be getting it, and most of the people that do get it are either cheaters or people that are doing recovs or just anything like that, man. The game mode is an absolute hellhole, and adding, you know, a little bit of cheese onto a shit sandwich, it's not really going to make me want to take a bite of said sandwich, so you might want to rework the mode first. Rant over. Let's go ahead and move on over to the next part of the TWAB, which is the Season of the Chosen Weapons, and honestly, these look pretty spicy, man. I'm not gonna lie, I love the way that the pulse rifle and the submachine gun look. The aesthetic of these weapons is pretty sick. Sniper rifle, we'll have to see what kind of archetype it is, and the bow, well, all bows are pretty much the same, so we'll have to see if it's like kinetic or energy. It looks like it'll probably be kinetic, but these weapons right here, they look really cool, aesthetically pleasing. I like them a lot. Now, moving on from that, we have the Aeon cult rework going on. They say the team has some cool plans to shake up the Aeon suite of exotics. Here is it straight from the Destiny dev team of what you can expect when you equip these arms. And of course, you know, the Aeon cult exotics across Titan, Warlock, and Hunter, you know how they're supposed to like synergize, but they don't really. So let's see what they say. In redesigning the Aeon cult exotic armor pieces, we wanted to lean hard on the idea that these are exotics you and your fire team wear when you really want to work together as a team. With that in mind, there's 3 main goals for the revamped mechanics. They say create role-based mechanics that reward you in doing things that your role is supposed to be good at, create mechanics that reward other players on the fire team when you fulfill your role, and give your fire team incentive for each player to take on a different role. Instead of having a single monolithic exotic perk to handle this, we opted to take a page out of Armor 2.0 and give them their own unique mod sockets and mods, which are all unlocked as soon as you acquire the exotic, and each of which is tied to one of the different Aeon cult roles. These mods are identical across the exotics for all 3 classes, so you can choose any role regardless of what class or subclass. These roles are the Sect of Force, the Sect of Insight, and Vigor. The Sect of Force says you specialize in punishing powerful combatants before they can harm your allies. You get rapid precision hits with a weapon that temporarily increase your reload and weapon swap speed. They also say that when you stun a champion or defeat mini-bosses, your nearby fire team members gain a burst of grenade and melee energy, and the Aeon cult allies who do not have the Sect of Force role equipped also gain a burst of super energy. So that right there, that already sounds pretty cool. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it kind of matters on how much, but let's go ahead and move on to the Sect of Insight. It says you specialize in empowering your allies and keeping them well supplied. Successive precision weapon takedowns have a chance to drop an orb of power for your allies, so that's going to be super. And they say when you finisher on an elite, you generate special ammo for your fire team. When you use a finisher on a boss enemy, you generate heavy ammo for your fire team. Nearby Aeon cult allies who do not have insight equipped will also get a bonus to weapon damage for a short time. Sounds pretty cool. Next up, we have the Sect of Vigor. It says you specialize in keeping your allies in the fight. You gain class ability energy as your allies die, and gain full class ability energy when you resurrect an ally. When you cast your super, nearby allies gain an instant burst of healing. The Aeon cult allies who do not have this equipped will also gain an overshield. So this sounds really cool. Honestly, I could see this working really well together if Bungie releases like some kind of new dungeon, or maybe this might work pretty well in raids, but I could see, you know, seeing as it's like, you know, you got 3 different people, 3 different roles, you're sticking together. Dungeons would sound really, really fun with these kind of mods on, but I mean, Grandmasters would work too. Pretty much any scenario would work, but I could see something really cool happening in a dungeon personally. They also go on to say that each of these mods has 1 perk that focuses on the user and 1 perk that grants benefits to their allies. Additionally, the second perk includes an extra benefit for anyone in your fire team that's not chosen the same role. So for maximum efficiency, each member of the 3-player fire team should choose a different mod to reap the most benefits. The last thing in the TWAB is some catalyst coming out of the not the Deep Stone Crypt, out of the Destiny content vault. The Bad Juju, Izanagi's Burden, Sleeper Simulant, Huckleberry, Worldline, Polaris, Telesto, Legend of Acrius, and Skyburner's Oath catalysts are coming out of the vault and have updated drop sources and objectives that need to be completed. They say the catalysts for Whisper of the Worm and Outbreak are still not obtainable for anyone who hasn't already earned them, but they'll be added in a future update. And guys, that is it for this week at Bungie. Let me know what you thought of this style of video. I tried to get through it pretty quick and try to give you guys the information at lightning speed, as well as giving my opinions on things, of course. All in all, was this a good TWAB? Not really. Now, if you do ignore the fact that that Bungie didn't talk about anti-cheat and stuff and take a look at it on a surface level, I mean, yeah, it's pretty decent. They gave us some information we already know with the Nightfall stuff. What we didn't know, though, was the pursuit weapons, and we already knew about the Trials of Osiris armor, but they ended up showing the 3 new weapons and the 3 new cosmetics, as well as a look at some of the chosen weapons and the Aeon exotics getting a bit of a revamp. So, I mean, it's an okay TWAB, but still, I don't like Bungie playing ignorant and just not really discussing with the community about anti-cheat. I mean, this is a whole third of your player base. I'm not counting Stadia. This is a whole third of your player base right here that just can barely play Trials of Osiris in even being, you know, whatsoever kind of fun. So I don't know, it bothers me to no extent. I know I'm probably like a broken record at this point, but I can't help but rant about it because it's how I feel. Guys, let me know what you think of this video down in the comments down below. That is it for the TWAB. That is it for me. And I'll see you guys on Season of the Chosen launch day.